Hello, so we're going on to part 2 of Higher Mind Awakening. Okay, so the feel wheel. The mindset you have is based off the 6 core feelings located in the emotional paint palettes. We designed these palettes to help you dive deep within your emotional body and gain better clarity of what is hidden there. Each of these core feelings are a spectrum of light, wave, within the vibrational elixir of creation. Emotions are broken down in a third, fifth, and seventh density vibrational spectrum. The field that flows into your mind is what determines your emotional playing field. The scale starts with the spectrum of sadness, fear, and anger. These are all part of the 3D spectrum. Next, you have strength and happiness. These two are formed within the 5D spectrum. Lastly, you have tranquility, which is the stage of a light master. So I'm just going to show you this this 6-pointed star and these. I think that's a really nice diagram of that. So we've got anger, fear, sadness, then we move into strength, happiness, and then into tranquility. The key is to not only achieve your desired spectrum, but to maintain balance like the surfer within that vibrational spectrum, meaning that in every now moment, your emotional body is aligned to that frequency. The longer you vibrate in a spectrum, the more that light wave spectrum can be absorbed into your bones. Your bones can be seen as your very own internal crystalline cave. This is where your DNA upgrades start. They start with the electrical currents flowing into your physical body via the other energetic bodies. Since the emotional and mental bodies are the closest to the physical body, if there are any blockages held there, then the currents will meet resistance. Piezoelectric basically is an electric charge that arises in solids like bones, DNA, and crystals. Your bones already have tiny crystals in them. Blood cells are produced in bone marrow. Therefore, plasma light flows from your light codes to then be stored in your bones. Think of your bones as batteries that are charged by your light codes. When this is happening, it also causes joint pain. These batteries can now be used to turn on devices such as blood cells. So that's a little excerpt from the Ascension Symptoms Manual, which you can find on my channel. These currents flow into you via your energy centers, chakras. These can be seen as vents in your house. If the vents are clogged due to dust balls, then the flow of energy meets resistance. This can cause more blockages to happen in your other energy bodies, such as your light body. Balancing those emotions is very important to fully awakening your Kundalini so you can become plugged into your higher mind. Ancient Pearl Code teachings taught of the serpent being coiled and in hibernation at your sacral chakra, which is below the belly button. All of you have a diamond light cord that connects to your belly button and flows directly to Divine Creator. This feeds you that life force energy as it does to all of creation. Once this area holds no blockages in the energy bodies, then it will awaken the serpent. With active breath work, the life force energy is fed into the diamond serpent. This starts the shedding of its skin. The skin is made of diamond dust, which then ignites into the base of your spine. The golden light that is fed by your 9th chakra, golden pearl at the base of your skull, will then drip into your spine to meet this diamond dust. When they touch, they ignite the Kundalini awakening. The serpent fully transforms to then glide up your spine and eat from the golden apple, better known today as the golden chalice, which is the medulla oblongata. It is not until the serpent awakens does the chalice start to fill up. This is why serpents are seen guarding the apple tree and the caduceus in ancient teachings. So that's the symbol here. Zanita, the serpent advising Eve to eat the apple is decoded here. The tree is your soul tree that your light seeded to earth from. The garden, well, that is an unseen layered destination. I'm just going to show you the golden chalice. Again, you can pause that and study it more if you'd like to. Emotional paint palette. Hold on a minute. It is at the tranquility spectrum that a true Kundalini awakening is ignited. One may have felt the serpent start to uncoil, but the full awakening feels like hot lava being poured down your spine. Your back will arch up. Some may experience small convulsions. Lastly, it will feel as if peppermint is running through your veins 24/7. The peppermint feeling is the pure Christos light flowing from your light body. Most will get small doses of this feeling to adjust the form prior to the awakening. This starts the stage of enlightenment along your journey. Each of the 6 core feelings is associated with the Pacific energy center. So sadness, the root chakra; fear, the sacral chakra; anger, the solar plexus; strength, the heart chakra; happiness, the crown chakra; tranquility, the 9th chakra. The first stage is to collapse all suppressed emotions of the 3D spectrum. This will start to slowly collapse the lower 3 chakras to allow your new anchor point to be in your heart chakra. This is where the Christ seed, see crackling the chrysalis, shattering the steps of ascension for the teaching, can be anchored. The blooming of the blue pearl, your higher heart. Those of you who have stomach issues are due to a blockage at your solar plexus. This is associated with the anger stage and connected directly to your gut. Anger is simply depression mirrored inwards. Ooh, I've never heard it that way. The strength stage is at the higher 4D and lower 5D spectrums, where happiness is within the 5D spectrum. But I can actually really resonate with that. The anger is depression mirrored inward, because, you know, during my childhood, you know, because, you know, I was really blessed with my mum and dad, but I observed this now. I know that my dad has suppressed a lot of emotions, right? And my dad uses humour, laughter to repress, deny, not deal with those emotions. And even now, right now, he has these outbursts of absolute anger that are usually projected at my mum. Like, don't get me wrong, my dad is amazing, right? So, you know, and he loves my mum, and he does a lot for my mum, and he cares for my mum, and they've got an amazing relationship. But there are times, right, where mum will do something which is really nothing, and my dad will just have this overreaction to it, and that's his anger wanting to get out, right? It's that suppression inside of him that is not dealt with. And it actually, interestingly, when I was reading the Ascension Symptoms book, and Zanita talks about acid reflux being a representation of emotions being stored. And my dad, you know, a few years ago started with really bad acid reflux, and, you know, I was telling him to look at, you know, natural ways to deal with it, and you know, but it was going to the doctor and getting all these Gaviscon and all this stuff, and what was it doing? Nothing. I would say it makes it worse, right? But you know, so during my childhood, we went, you know, there was a lot of stress in my home to do with money, not having enough. You know, you'll have heard me say in one of the videos, I got a job when I was like 12 and a half. There was so much stress there, but these emotions were really, you know, obviously I experienced them, but not directly that it would be done. You know, my mum and dad were quite, well, no, they would get upset and about money and things like that, and but my dad would use humor to suppress that, and I took that on as well. I would also use humor to move away from my emotion. I didn't realize it at the time. I only realized that as I got older, that I used humor to suppress emotions, not to deal with them, to just deny, ignore them. And whilst I do not take life too seriously in certain extents, and I think that's a good quality to have, also if we use it, also we've got to be able to connect to these emotions, right? And during 2020, when we were going through that collective awakening, you know, anger within me was being triggered a lot, and I realized that the anger was more than to do with the situation that we were going through, that it was deeply held, suppressed anger, which I would say would be depression, right? I would have felt depressed, you know, it would have been that depression. I know now my mum suffers from depression, so I know she would have suffered from it when she was younger as well, and that energy would have been around me and suppressed within my body underneath humor. So interesting, that I like that. But you know, I have gone through a huge healing and healing that out of the body um, um, deeply over the last 7 years. So the strength stage is at the higher 4D and lower 5D spectrums, where happiness is within the 5D spectrum. The happiness stage is the start of expansion for your consciousness. This is directly connected to your crown chakra, 3D spectrum, how to work with each emotional paint palette. Each emotional paint palette houses 6 internal emotions surrounded by 6 external emotions. Each palette houses the vibrational frequency number of its spectrum. When you have a feeling, go to the palettes to find it, look at both the internal and external emotions, and go within to identify the anchor of them. Allow the energy associated with this vibration to surface and flow. Then follow these 5 steps. Remove the emotional label to view it simply as energy. Now, I really love that, because I really teach this as well, that, you know, during childhood, we've been taught that certain emotions are bad. It's bad to feel anger. It's bad to feel sad, jealousy, all these emotions, all these feelings that we felt that have been labelled with certain labels, and then we've been told they're bad. So that programs us not to repress them, right? Because we think, oh my God, we feel shame, we feel guilt for feeling these natural feelings that flow into the body. And often, because we become so disconnected to our emotions as well, we don't even know what we're feeling, right? And actually, I love that she said that you don't need to know. You don't need to give it a label. You just know that you're feeling an emotion, and all emotions, there's nothing good or bad about them. It's just that when you attach a meaning to it, a story, when the mind gives it a story, which turns it into something that's good or bad. Whereas if we just accept that our body is feeling an emotion, so remove the emotional label and view it simply as energy, because it's just energy, emotion. Love that. Remove any identity that you have attached to it. Yeah, don't add a story to it. That story that you're attaching to it is what is making you hold on to it and suppress it and feeling guilt and shame about it. So remove the emotional label, remove the identity you have attached to it, remove from your energy field to allow your consciousness to refocus. Remove any mental power and energy you projected towards this energy. Remove any cords with this energy and ask your spirit team to take over. Conclude with 3 slow, deep breaths. Yeah, because when you breathe and when you just sat with it, right? You're not judging it, you're just accepting that there is an energy within you. You're not judging it, you're accepting it. You can have compassion for yourself with it, and you breathe. You're allowing it to pass out of the body. And yeah, that's a nice step at the end where you could just say, you know, I was doing this when I was walking in the woods yesterday. I woke up yesterday, I'll link this video at the end. I woke up yesterday and I had this feeling of fear around my financial situation right now, because I've taken a massive leap, and I'm in the unknown, and I no longer have that safety net of a job that I once had, and I had this fear just came within me, and I was walking in the woods to allow myself to feel it. I breathed into it, and then I asked Mother, Father, God, I asked the angels to just take over, to help transmute this energy for me, because our teams want to do that for us. You know, I said, you know, show me, Mother, Father, God, show me how to walk through this next part of my life without fear, without doubt, and to just walk straight into it. So I love those steps, very resonant with what I teach. So we've got these wheels here now. I'm going to hold them up, and what I would say is, rather than me read these out, I think it's, well, actually, no, let's have a look. So we've got sadness and fear. So let's have a look at sadness. So within the wheel of sadness, we've got feeling inferior, depressed, rejected, hopeless, betrayed, unmotivated. So we can all relate to them at points in our life. Then we've got in the inner wheel of this, we've got isolated, lonely, neglected, regretful, hurt, fragile. So we can all relate to some of those energies. Then we've got fear, so let's see, I'm going to read on the outside. So we've got skeptical, overwhelmed, confused, tension, paranoid, anxious, right? And then on the inner wheel, we've got insecure, stressed, upset, panic, worry, nervous. And I say, I used to live in stress when I lived in the corporate world until I started to wake up and take back control of my energy field. And stress has been normalized, and it is not a normal state to live in, and it will harm the body and the mind living in those states. And the 3D world is not gonna help you to move out of stress. It's up to you to take back control of your energetic field and realize that you matter. You do matter, and your body matters, and you've got to start learning to really see those programs that make you believe you've got to live in fear and work like a maniac. You do not need to do that. Anger. So we've got aggressive, agitated, bothered, disgust, hostile, frustration. On the inner, we've got rage. Oh my God, I felt so much rage into it. I've never felt rage like it. So I knew again that it was deeper layers of suppressed emotions that were being triggered and were finding an opening out. So I'm so grateful for that time. So grateful for that time. I just grew so much in that time. I had to go so deep inside. Rage, annoyed, bitter, hateful, jealousy, irritated. So don't feel if we identify with some of these emotions, it's not bad and it's not wrong that we felt these things, right? Energy simply is. It's the fact that we felt it's bad or wrong, that it's got stuck in the body and we've not been able to let it out of the body, and why it keeps repeating patterns in our lives. When we suppress our emotions, then the same patterns keep repeating in our lives. We keep attracting the same experiences into our lives. Why? Because the world is a mirror. It's mirroring back to us that which we are vibrating, in order that we may see it and heal it and start to bring in new experiences, move up in consciousness. So the 5D spectrum, so that's the 3D emotions, energy. So we've got the 5D spectrum. So you're going to relate to these as well. You're going to have been plugging into these energies too. So strength, and a lot of what we go through as children, I always teach this, that all those negative things that we go through as children, well, they cultivate these higher energies within us. They show us who we truly are, this strength that we have within us. So we've got strong here, 5D spectrum, determined, important, empowered, successful, confident, intelligent. Then on the inner, we've got fearless. I love that. Proud, powerful, respected, valued, worthy. So we've all experienced those emotions too, right? Happiness. So you've got satisfied, excited, passionate, enthusiastic, delighted, pleasure. On the inner, we've got bubbly, light-hearted, euphoric, carefree, cheerful, blissful. And then we've got the 7D spectrum, so tranquility, peaceful. That's one of my favourites. Accepting, I say this to my clients as well, if you're feeling in fear, right, don't fear, right? If you're feeling in fear, it's okay, you're feeling it, just move into acceptance about it. As soon as you move into acceptance, you're not in resistance to it, you're not denying it. You just instantly move to the 7D spectrum of tranquility, because when you're in fear and you're denying it and you're repressing it, then you're pushing against it, right? If we accept it, we can start to allow it to move through the body. When I woke up with that fear yesterday, I allowed myself to feel that fear. I accepted. The first thing I did was I accepted that fear, rather than do what, I felt, there was a time where I just thought, I might just read. Sometimes we feel like I'll just distract myself from it. But then I thought, no, don't do that, Corinne. Feel it. Feel the fear, accept it. And you instantly moving up the scale in vibration. So we've got accepting. Accepting is beautiful, and it's so simple for us to do. Relaxed, optimistic, heart expansion, content, peaceful. On the inner, we've got comfort, mellow, trusting, solace, focused, present. Yeah, it's about being in the now. You've got to be in the now. Higher mind anchoring. Actually, guys, you know what? I'm going to leave it there for this one. I think that's given it. I think it's good to end on those different emotional spectrums as well. And you can I'm just going to make sure I show this so you can actually stop the video and take a deeper look at these and just see how if you're feeling some of the lower 3D ones of like anger, etc., how you can work with those, you know, from what we've just read, you know, go back and listen to the steps, how you can work with those in order to transmute them into their higher, to move into the higher consciousness expansion. So I'll leave that video at the end as well that I mentioned, and I will see you on the next one.